begin. And you gon' do it on Christmas Day and go all the way. Merry Christmas, babe. 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 Feliz Navidad, babe. Feliz Navidad. Wishing you be my boo. Can you please be my Christmas? Be my Christmas, babe. Be my Christmas, baby. Wishing please, can you be with me, baby, on this cruise? I got something very nice for you, and got your shorty baby too, babe. Your stuff, my stuff, right here, baby. Your stuff, my stuff, right here, baby. We want some gifts. Gotta have some gifts.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Gotta have some gifts.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, George Stroger, Miss Ruthie
Maze,
Moore.
this is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice in it and be glad.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well, I said I wasn't that religious. I wanted to come back.
Let me circle back.
Well, let me tell y'all, everybody that is looking for us on YouTube, we are up and running. You should have just got an alert. So it is. Look, you can check us out live on WBGX 1570 AM. I want to encourage everybody right now, grab your pen and paper, go to your Facebook, go to your YouTube, and go to Facebook, go to the Maze Jackson page. Follow us on the Maze Jackson page. Subscribe on the YouTube page as well. Maze Jackson, you can go to the Maze Jackson page. All right, y'all. Time for the social media question of the day. Do y'all notice something? Do y'all feel a little something? This, in case you are listening online and you are not watching, this is me in my my last year's ugly Christmas sweater.
I'm glad you wore it, because now I got to remember, I got a couple of sweaters. If I don't wear them now, it's all over.
Right. I was just thinking, I got a few in the closet, so I got a chance to rotate them in.
Yeah.
Some Christmas sweaters. So I was just thinking, though, this year has been one of those years where it's been tough to get into the mood. Right? It seemed, well, let me ask. I don't know if it's been tough to get into the mood. I want to ask the social media question of the day. Are you still doing Christmas this year? Are you still doing Christmas this year? Now, when I ask you that, here's some of the things that I think when I say, are you doing Christmas? Are you sending out Christmas cards?
Yes.
Do people really still send out Christmas cards? I mean, some people do. I don't know if people do or not. Are you doing a tree?
We had Christmas cards made, so yeah, that's our thing.
Did you take a family picture? Or do you make or do you just...
Once I get your address, you'll see it. I'm not giving up the ghost yet. I'm not letting you know.
Is that why you asked me for your address?
Yeah, you thought I was trying to come over?
I was
wanted
like,
to make sure that was you, Mr. President.
Actually,
first.
right. I was
Wait
I
a
would just
minute.
give out my address. And I was thinking
I was going to ask you.
ding, 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 ding. Don't get, because, if you come by, Carrie going to knock you out. You better send Janine. Do you do a tree? Are you getting your tree? Is your tree already up? Are you still waiting till the last minute? Gifts. Yeah, I was telling Carrie that she needed to buy some gifts for her friends from the new store that's we heard that's gonna be opening up. And she said, my friends ain't getting no gifts. It's straight family. It's straight family.
Yeah.
Lights and decorations. I came home yesterday, and as I came in the house from the tailgate from doing Church Chicago, and then doing the kickoff, kickback, pull up, pull off tailgate, I walked in the house and I was greeted by reindeer. There were reindeer lining the steps as I walked up. I saw the Black Santa collection sitting on top of the video game. I was like, Black Christmas is arriving in the Jackson household. Now, there still is no tree because obviously I'm in charge of that. Uh-huh. And so we got to go to the store and go get a tree and tie it to the roof and bring it home. And,
I can't remember. You're alive.
What am I, chopped liver? What do you think? I'm dead? The ghost of Christmas? Yeah, I get live trees.
Okay.
Live trees, and then I put the bag around it so that as soon as it's time to go, I can just pull up the bag, tie it up. It's like a giant Glad trash bag that you put around and you decorate. then you put a skirt. Well, see, Carrie,
That makes so much sense.
but back in the day, when I did Christmas by myself, the garbage bag was the tree skirt. I thought I was clever.
You threw the tree skirt away?
No, I used the garbage bag. I bunched it up around the base.
Oh,
And
you
then
used it
made
as a tree skirt.
And then I made it like the tree skirt.
Oh.
And Carrie was like, she literally had an actual tree skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like one that was sewed with buttons.
We have two tree
Like,
skirts.
I'll be like, how am I supposed to water the daggone tree with this? I mean, it looks nice, but I just be like,
That's not practical.
she's got Carrie got all the stuff for Christmas. All right. You gonna do your Christmas TV shows? Look, let's do this because we're gonna open up the lines and ask you, are you doing Christmas? Do you still watch the Christmas TV shows? Do you as an adult or do your kids say, I gotta watch? I remember I used to love Christmas time because that's when we knew that we could get the TV. Mm-hmm. Like if a Christmas show came on, kids got priority. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer came on, I don't care if Grey's Anatomy was. During this era, the kids get the TV. Mm-hmm. Right? Any Christmas special, and it was like, you knew, it was like the only time of the year you could be like, you had the remote. Mm-hmm. Right? Because remember, we used to have to share a TV. Right? Now the kids watch Christmas. I don't even know if kids watch Christmas specials anymore. Then, what about the eggnog? I feel like I always knew it was Christmas time when it was eggnog in the refrigerator. But did your parents limit how much eggnog you could have? Then I realized, I didn't know till years later that people spiked eggnog.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I had no clue that people was, then I'll be like, why is everybody always
What,
around?
you put brandy in it?
People I knew put yak in it. They was like, black people put cognac. They be putting Remy in it. Or Hennessy. Remy really don't say Hennessy. Anyway, so social media question of the day. Let's open up the phone lines. Ruth, you got the phone by you. Sonia Escobar, you got the phone lines up there. Let's do this. We got the black cord in there. The skinny black cord in there. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Are you still doing Christmas this year? Carrie is. I'm telling you, Carrie be like, oh, we doing Christmas. I'm telling you, how long do the Christmas, and I think the Christmas cards stay up till like Halloween. Christmas cards be on the mantle till Halloween. No, Christmas cards be on the mantle till my birthday. I ain't gonna lie.
It is nice. We got some Christmas cards so far.
Do you still, and like, what do you do with your Christmas cards? Whoop.
We have like a Christmas card box.
Bring it around this way. Christmas cards, what do you do with your Christmas cards afterwards? Do you throw them away? How long do you keep them before you throw them away?
I'm pretty sure that, once the wise men get there,
The gift of the Magi.
we probably, after that.
Sonya pulling it. Just set it on the floor.
Got it.
That is so hilarious. I know. Wait, which one you want us to use? We know. We're not bugging out. We just gonna drop it on the floor. Hey, y'all. This is the Maddie Jackson Show. Ruthie, I think it'll make it if you drop it.
I'm not dropping this because I don't
hey,
have the money made.
If you are watching the well, I already dropped the.
That's why I'm not dropping
It was
this.
too funny. So in case y'all don't know,
Y'all could have said something.
We
Y'all knew
ran
that
on
was
the
happening.
floor.
I didn't know.
it didn't dawn on me until I keep seeing it slide. In case y'all don't know, Ruthie and Sonya are on the other sides of the wall, and we changed the cord, so we got a short cord. It wasn't supposed to be, and so Ruthie's dialing the phone in. And it's slowly being pulled off the table. And if you're watching now, Ruthie's arm is stretched out across the table because she is trying to prevent the phone lines. So just for that, y'all have to call us, 872-259-7474. Are you still doing Christmas this year? Ruthie, you're doing Christmas. I see.
Yeah.
I thought you was coming in doing the Paul Bunyan, but you...
I'm doing Christmas kinda, but I mean...
Christmas kinda.
Who really cares?
Is it just you and your sister?
No, Ruthie, stop.
I mean, honestly, like holidays, stuff like it's for the young people. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we do it for like my nieces and nephew, but who cares?
So did you ever care about Christmas?
Oh my goodness, yes.
When did you stop?
When I stopped getting gifts, and I stopped running down. When you stop running down the stairs and you wake up early.
Oh, you had a big old. See you front. You be talking. You did not have a shotgun. You had a house. You had a big old crib with big steps and big rooms, and y'all had a big old living room where it was big old.
It's just a lot of us, so you need rooms.
So you gotta get down there.
Once you have stairs, that's a big place, right?
That's what I say. If you got stairs in your crib, you got a big house. Stop running, Ruthie. You be telling her. Ruthie had me thinking she was living outside in the
I
shack.
still am.
Did I not?
They had a tin roof and a dirt floor.
All right. So, Christmas cards. Let's start there.
No. I think COVID. Don't send me no card, especially if you lick the envelope.
We use the sponge.
Okay, good.
So, Christmas. Give me a call. So do you do Christmas cards? I say every year I have all the greatest ideas for Christmas cards, and I never send them. Never. Like, do you feel? Let me ask you a question. Do you still get Christmas cards?
I got a whole. Let me tell you what I like. I like when people do the photo magnets. I get one every year from one of my cousins and they little kids. So I got like a bunch of, the little holiday photo magnets.
Yeah.
Is the Strogers gonna be a magnet this year?
That sounds like real money, Ruthie.
Photo magnets? I never heard of that.
To put on the fridge.
Oh no, the magnets don't never stick to my fridge. I hate that.
What kind of fridge you got?
Yeah.
The magnets don't stick to your fridge anymore.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do. What kind of fridge you
metal.
got?
No, it's not. No, they don't. If the magnet sticks to your fridge, then you got a problem.
No,
No. If you have a stainless steel fridge and the magnet
got a 1970 fridge.
No, I have a stainless steel fridge, and if you stick the magnet to it, then it ain't stainless steel.
No, we got stainless steel and magnets.
Maze, I got stainless steel in the magnet.
Okay, is it on the side or is it on the front?
What?
I bet you better Google that. You better Google. You better.
That's
Google.
Interesting.
You better Google your stainless steel.
Ruthie, there's two of us. There's one of him. He wrong.
All right. I'm just telling you. I've been trying to get the stuff. I can't get them to stick on the front.
I think it's time to talk to the chemist.
Oh, chemistry. Dang, I can't get them to stick on the. I can't get the magnets barely to stick on the dishwasher either.
Why would you want that?
So you can know which ones, if the dishes are clean or if the dishes are dirty. So you turn the magnet to be like, whoosh, whoosh.
Why don't you just open up the door and look?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes, depending on
See what
how
rich
good
people do, Ruthie?
No, because if you rinse them before you, first of all, I don't even understand. Half the time, if I feel like I got to rinse the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher,
Yeah, that's
I just
no
be
fun.
like, you know
That's
what?
my time.
I'm just getting ready to wash them. Let me just wash them because by the time I done sprayed them down. All right, so do you feel some kind of way if you don't get Christmas cards?
No.
Yeah, I feel like people don't care anymore.
Really?
I get Christmas cards from some people who used to work at the county.
See,
Oh.
I think it's generational.
I think it's networking.
I think it's generational. I think it's just like
Oh, my mother loves cards
I'm gonna tell you
and letters.
now.
If you send my mother a letter, she'd be like, wow, that's nice.
You know what? So I'm gonna tell you, I think it's generational. Christmas cards, generational. I remember my parents used to get Christmas cards, and they would tape them up above the counter.
Yeah.
And then I would start counting, and then it would be like, they really like us. Hey, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, give us a call, 872-259-7474. Are you still doing Christmas this year? Christmas cards. Okay, Christmas tree? Gifts? Who doing lights and decorations? Are you doing Christmas for other people?
My wife just said she wanted to go do lights outside.
Maybe if people going to do more Christmas this year? And then stay tuned. We're going to see if Ruthie can hold on to the phone challenge.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, right. It's the Ruthie phone challenge. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
What's up, good people?
Y'all go accept my request on the page so I can do the
Why would we do that? Why would we do that?
I'm trying to do the survey.
Why would we let you in? Why would we let you on the? You talking about the Iswiz Book Club page? No, why would
We're gonna let you in, Ron. You need to read. I'm with that. I'm definitely put you on.
Somebody please let Ron in the Iswiz. Is it? I thought it was a public page.
I don't know. I don't run it. I
don't know who run it. You got to talk to Shannon and Robin and
You say what? Y'all group private like it's something special or something.
First of all, it is something special.
ass.
Okay.
Here's something special. Okay.
You know what I'm
Ron?
saying?
Then you gonna talk it again. Don't get no punishment again now.
Right. They already came in there like, look at her being nice to Ron today. It wasn't gonna last.
You always mess.
I think Asia came in like, for now, like just for a little while.
Just for a little while.
Just for a little while. Just for a little while. Somebody let that man in the page. Somebody let that man in the page, Robin. Please let him in.
I said what I said. Herb 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
WIFTPM
time for the social media question of the day.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Taj Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Y'all, are y'all still doing Christmas this year? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Taj, you gonna put a little nip in the eggnog? Do you drink eggnog? Ruthie, you said ugh when we said eggnog.
You did say that.
Yeah, I don't like eggs.
Oh.
Is there really eggs in eggnog?
It's the thought. I think it's made with egg. Yeah, because you have to cook it. And you like temper it.
Well, you was making, Granny
I thought
had
you went to the, Jewel and got a carton. I didn't know that all that went into it.
You know what?
I thought, right. I was just thought you got
Yeah.
and then the cool
It's
bottle.
too sweet for me, though. I can only drink like a half a cup, and I'm like, oh, that's enough.
They got like this Latino eggnog.
So what's it?
I don't know what it's called.
Sriracha.
It's sriracha.
Huh? What's it called? Hornitos. I thought that was tequila.
Coquito.
Coquito. I seen
yeah.
that. Hey, you know what? I have had that. And it's got the little cinnamon on top of it.
I don't know. I'm Mexican, not Puerto Rican.
I was thinking the
Oh,
same
it's
thing,
Puerto Rican?
actually.
It's
So,
coconut
Oh, look, I
milk?
said Latin.
Oh, okay.
Is it Puerto Rican?
I bought about 7 bottles. I ain't gonna lie.
So she brought Coquito. All right.
Coquito.
I think I've had that. Like, I think I got Coquito from Young Democrats one time. Right? You know how when you was Young Democrats, they mix everything up.
that is a great thing.
Right? And they be like, you try ours and we try yours and you try. So, you drink the Coquito?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So no eggnog for you.
I'm lactose Maze.
You be around here Putin.
Nah, I just don't
Oh!
eat dairy.
No, just gas.
Oh, okay.
It's just gassy.
Okay. So, and you know eggnog. Me, I kind of used to like it when I was a kid, but now it's like I feel like when you was a kid, they only gave you a little bit, so you always wanted some more. But as an adult, it's like when
It's
you
all
can have
thick.
it, it's like,
It is. I still like it, but I can only do a half a cup.
okay.
And it needs to be cold.
Now, do you like it cold or hot? Can't you have it hot too?
Ugh.
With some, then do you put a little nip in it? I'm gonna put a little nip in it.
It gotta have a nip.
I'm gonna put. You know what? I'm gonna get me some. We gonna have to call the chef. Make us some eggnog for Christmas. What's the chef? What's our chef called? What's his name one more time?
The cannabis chef, Gary.
Gary. We need some some eggnog.
Some dog.
All right, let me go to the live line. I know now. You know Frank. Frank is on the live line. You know Frank's celebrating Christmas. He gonna do Christmas because he got his grandchildren. If he didn't dismiss his grandson, his son, because then he said he's gonna fire his son for voting for Trump or something. Look, what's up, Frank? You on the Mace Jackson Show?
Good morning, Brother Mays and Brother Todd.
Good morning, Frank.
Sister Sonia and Sister Ruthie.
Morning.
How y'all doing?
Great, thanks.
You know, I like this social media question as usual. And of course, I'm gonna celebrate Christmas. I think anyone who truly understood the joy of Christmas will celebrate Christmas. Okay, I believe it's like the old saying we got, like home is where the heart is. Well, so is the joy of Christmas. And we all, you see what I'm saying? Remember that little cartoon we used to watch called How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Yeah.
This son of a gun came out and stole that, everything, the tree, the decoration, the present, even all the food. And he stood his butt on that hill thinking that the citizens of Whoville going to go a whole lot of weeping and wailing.
Not Whoville.
But he heard the joy still coming out. So to let you know, see, with me, celebrating Christmas is about celebrating the birth of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whenever that birth took place. And the present I give represent the present that was given to baby Jesus by 3 wise men. So I think the joy of Christmas is within it. I think we're going to still find a way to still celebrate. I order my toys online, and my relative, my little granny, they're going to do a drive-by and come by and pick them up. That's the way I see it. The joy of Christmas should not be killed. This pandemic Grinch is not going to steal my Christmas. Thank you, guys.
I heard that, Frank. You know what?
I forgot about the birth of Jesus.
Well, that's because Jesus wasn't born in the, you know what? Let me stop. See,
No, I think Ruthie got a point. I think most people forget that that religion
Christ in
is
Christmas.
supposed to be about something.
So I think
Love.
it's about love.
Do y'all got 7-Day Adventist relatives that still eat on Christmas and stuff?
I have no Seventh-day Adventist relatives.
You ain't got none.
No, I think we used to think. See, man, I'm gonna tell you.
Part of the Latino caucus were 7-day Adventists.
You know what?
The successful ones, actually. I mean, I guess a lot
That's
of them
because they was
successful.
chilling on Sundays. They had a chance to rest. Gosh darn it! Shout out to all the 7th-day Adventists out there. I thought that was like simple when I was growing up.
Don't they celebrate things on Saturday?
Yeah, the 7th day.
Right.
Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7th, and on the 7th day, God rested.
Yeah.
Tell that to the people around
Made
here.
you kind of upset about that.
I be like, man, well, I used to be like, y'all tricking people. Like, cause no, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to count the days. Right? Cause I would be like, well, why do I have to go pick up the sticks in the lawn on the 7th day? Ain't this supposed to be Sabbath? And then you go to church and you come back from church and you still gotta work. I was like, what day do we get to rest? Right? And so, I still feel a little bit about that.
All right.
Who's putting up Christmas lights? And do you take them down?
Yeah, some people. You're right. Some people leave them on forever, but no, we take ours down.
My parents, but I used to want to do Christmas lights. My favorite Christmas light show.
Which one?
What's the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
That is great.
Christmas that when he was waiting for his
bonus.
He
check?
was waiting for his bonus check. That was hilarious. All right, do the kids watch Christmas shows? The parents, do you sit down with the kids and watch Christmas shows?
I'm with Frank. I still try to catch the Grinch who stole Christmas.
That is a good. He did not say.
Y'all talking about the one with Jim Carrey?
No, I'm not. yeah, right. I'm talking the one with Boris Karloff.
There's one with Boris Karloff?
It's the one you know.
Oh, but that's the cartoon.
Right.
Oh, and Boris Karloff did
the voice. He's the narrator.
You see, now Boris Karloff, you got to know Boris. Do you know Boris Karloff?
I know Boris Kojo.
And Sonya, get your fingers back. What is that? Why are you back there swooning? Let me tell you, Boris. He used to play Dracula.
No, Frankenstein.
Oh, was he Frankenstein?
Oh, okay. I know you're talking about.
Who was Dracula?
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi. Okay. I had them mixed up. Two old white dudes.
Pretty much.
With pasty white makeup. One had green though, but
he also played the Mummy.
The Mummy.
But who would know?
Well, right, because his face was wrapped up. Ruthie, you seem kind of unimpressed.
Y'all, was it in black and white?
Yes.
Exactly.
You need to see Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
I like the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch. It was really good.
That's cool.
The one my daughter likes.
I didn't. You know what? I did not watch that one.
I've only seen it.
It's like it's kind of hard for me when they turn when grown men are like.
Okay.
Like
it's like Nicolas Cage, over the top. Like, okay, that's enough of that.
No, Nicolas Cage is a good actor, man. All right, gifts. What you doing for gifts?
I have a list that I'm getting for people.
What I'm getting?
Hey, I was thinking the opposite way. I have a list that I want from people.
What you gonna get me? How do you make your list?
How do you get Maze Jackson a gift?
He got everything. Oh, we need to get him routine. Excuse me. We need to get him a refrigerator where the magnets actually stick.
No, actually, I think when you all get Googling, you're gonna say, no, maybe I should get the. I think you have this backwards. I'm just gonna tell you. I think you have this backwards. I'm not going to talk smack.
I'm finna Google it.
I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna suggest.
You got Sub-Zero?
No, I don't. No, but I am going to suggest that if your magnets are sticking to your refrigerator, you may be a bit deceived.
What Maze has been telling us is his refrigerator's got one of them things with the plastic where you can look inside.
No, really?
Glass thing.
Yeah, you're pressing buttons.
Nah, I want one. I do want one of those, but I'm gonna tell y'all. I was just thinking, man, Christmas this year. I feel like I want to go do something like outside to make people feel like I might put a flag on the roof that say "Black Santa Claus was a black man." And just put it on the roof so all the white kids can have it room.
You're going to disappoint so many kids.
All right, y'all, when we come back, seems like the white people are fighting the black caucus fire with fire. The anti-Madigan forces come together under one banner to say that they will not be supporting Speaker Madigan, and they call for Democrats to come together against Mike Madigan.
Is that the movie The Queen?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're going to check it all out. We'll talk about it some more when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Hey family, this is Lisa E. from the Book of Dawn, and I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season and be safe. We love you.
And now joined by Dartisha Pitts, Esquire. I asked you to join us on the Book of Dawn because you are that girl. And I wish more of us did take the time to honor each other as women and successful women because our unity, I truly believe that. Dartisha Pitts serves as the General Counsel for the Office of the Illinois Lieutenant Governor. In 2017-18, she served as the President of the Cook County Bar Association.
Becoming an attorney was almost default. I think it was more so a personality thing. I always wanted to advocate for those who couldn't advocate for themselves. And growing up, I would get in trouble for that. Because my mom, be like, look, they not even talking and you talking. You be quiet. I kind of almost felt the injustice for others, sometimes even more than I feel the injustice for myself. I would say in high school, I was the sophomore class president. So I've always taken leadership positions to push the voice of my colleagues. I'm also from the South Side. I've seen so many injustices that I always felt like our community, our families, where do you go? I've seen and been victim of from family where you've been victim of a slumlord. How do you address and get a remedy in that situation? I grew up in an environment where the police would be in the community and you would see the police harass those on the block for no reason. How do you get a remedy? Everybody talked about a lawyer, but nobody knew how to access one directly. And I think that was my drive to continue to be an advocate. I didn't know it was going to be a lawyer, though.
You apply and get accepted at Northern Illinois College of Law. Did you go directly after undergrad to law school?
No, I actually, right after undergrad, I moved to Washington, D.C., to work at a international law firm, Skadden Arps, Slate Marn Flom, in their corporate section. And I was a legal assistant for a year. When I got there, and I realized how much I was making and how much those attorneys were making, who did go straight through. They weren't that much older than me. That influenced my law school trajectory. But I realized that although they did well, the type of work was not meaningful and purposeful enough for me. I wanted to be connected to the community. So I came back home and went to law school. I took 2 years out in between undergrad and law school.
And you not only complete, as many do, but you actually then take and pass the bar. Because that's the trick piece. Lots
on the first try.
There you go. A full anomaly right there. And I think it discourages some potential students or people from going into law because that bar exam is, first of all, not easy to pass on the third try, but for somebody to pass it on the first try is indeed confirmation that you were doing what you were supposed to do.
Yep.
The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Shout out to the Bigs. They just wrapped up another edition of On the Soil. They talked to Eric Davis. I didn't know that brother was like all that cold.
I didn't either.
Gino is the baseball expert, right? So whatever he say, that's how I'm rolling. So just hearing how he's been talking about him since they actually scheduled that interview made me looking like, how cold was this dude? It's legit.
Shout out to Don for the guest look.
Yeah, Don is the deal, G.
Guest look is outrageous.
Don is the plug.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
She is the plug.
Don is dead at the plug.
Gino and Mace. Why are we being left out over here?
Well, that's not really true.
Okay, well, break it down for me.
Oh, a wise guy, eh?
What'd she do? She set us up with Scoop.
Okay.
I've had Scoop's number for a while.
Salute.
But even like I'm associated to it, Don is like, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I be like, hey, let's get you on the show sometime. I'm like, yeah, let's set it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Don like, hey, yo, I need you on the show tomorrow. Like, okay.
Sit your $5 down before I make change.
Like, it's different. It's different with the big little sis, man.
The last of the Gambinos or something.
For real. She about that action. So shout out to Don, man. Shout out to the Book of Don.
WIFTBPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies now, other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonya, and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, George Stroger. Ruthie Bunyan Moore.
Bunyan?
As in
Not on my
Pauletta.
feet. Not on my feet.
That got me at first.
You,
Like, huh?
you ain't got big old bunions and corns. Ruthie, I hope you ain't got them corn feet. You got...
Is this a boomerang reference again?
All right, I gotta say what's up to Sonya Escobar as well. All right, y'all. So I watched one of my favorite, the third in two of my favorite movies are Godfather 1 and 2.
Yes.
Godfather 3 was a bust.
Right.
But apparently, I forgot. Not Mario Puzo.
Tom, could you talk to Mike for me?
You got to know that. Come on, what's not Mario Puzo and who's the other one?
Coppola.
Francis Ford Coppola did a director's cut of The Godfather 3 called Godfather Coda, in which they took the movie that we all hated and recut it, reordered it, and re-put pieces and parts together to really make it sense. It was about the death of Michael Corleone. And I didn't really understand it the first time that I saw it, but then I understand it about its move to legitimacy, etc. But one of the things that I tried to model myself after. Okay, so I talk about Purple Rain, right? I talk about Boomerang.
Mm-hmm. Morris Day.
Yeah. Then you got to add a little Michael Corleone with Sonny mixed in there, right? No Fredo. No Fredo.
No Fredo at all.
No Fredo at all. I'm smart. I can do things.
What about little Tom?
No Tom. Skip the white boy. All right, so
he's part of the family, though.
Yeah, but you saw how Madigan did his part of the family, right? He's adopted, right? She get the short change, right? He did Lisa. Same thing. Anyway, but as I was watching, like, one of my favorite movie anti-heroes, he reminded me of something that my good friend tells me all the time too, which is sometimes you get emotional, Mace. And
maybe you got a little more Sonny in you than you think, huh?
Right. So what he says was, actually, I like Sonny more than Michael in the grand scheme of things, except for, you knew Michael, like, I like Sonny as, like, if you gonna be the dude in the movie and if Sonny lives, that's who I'd rather be like.
Like I told you in the book, Sonny turns out to be excellent at warfare.
Yes, he is a warrior. Yes,
but
I
taking
read the
care
book.
of himself, not that smart.
Exactly. Man, the girls, they be calling that.
Well, no, I was in the movie too.
Right,
Sonny was cheating on his wife at the wedding.
And in Godfather 3, that was the child.
Oh,
that's who was the child.
That's Andy Garcia.
Yes.
Oh.
See, that's why you gotta watch it.
Right.
You get all the pieces and parts, and you start to understand that. But one of the things that Michael was telling Andy Garcia in the movie, cousin Vinny,
who's actually a Cuban American,
was that, and he would always snap off. And he said, Vinny, cousin Vincent, nephew Vincent, do not be emotional. Do not get emotional. Let your enemies get you emotional because it clouds your judgment.
Right.
Alas. So I felt that it was important that I take that note and apply it to Speaker Madigan. Because I must tell you that I have been emotional, almost giddy, in the slow drag burn of the demise of his power. But I also recognize that
slow drag is what happens when you're really powerful.
Right.
It takes a while.
It takes a while for everybody. But what I've also recognized is that I've got to become a little bit less passionate about what happens and be more objective so that I can see the board.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because sometimes I'm so busy seeing
tunnel vision
that it's going to go and it's going to happen and that I don't look at all the pieces and player parts on the board. And so what I've decided.
And when you don't see them all, one of them stabs you in the back.
One of them stabs you in the back. And you know it's 22 black people waiting to stab you in the back. So I decided that I'm going to take a dispassionate look at the Illinois Minority going forward. And we're going to analyze some of the moves that are being made and talk about how they fit in the power dynamic and in this game we call the Illinois Minority.
You know what one person told me this weekend, a Springfield-er?
What did they?
They said that for them, they're not pushing anybody other than Madigan because none of them have shown any guts. If you want to be the king, then you need to speak up and say, I'm running against this guy, not hide in the shadows and wait until the end.
Says the gutless. The gutless.
That person said, I don't want to be speaker anyway.
Right. So let me read a letter that came out this weekend. We saw last week that the Black Caucus came out in full-throated support of Speaker Madigan. Now, I still have asked for a roll call because remember, in the caucus, majority rules. Right? So Maurice West is the only black person that has openly said he is not supporting Speaker Madigan. The Black Caucus, after looking at Stephanie Kifowit and Speaker Madigan, decided that they were going to endorse Speaker Madigan.
I knew they weren't going to endorse Kifowit.
Right.
For sure.
Well, we understood that. But as Mr. White likes to say, maybe they should have kept their powder dry. Again, it was a forum.
Yeah, they didn't have to say anything.
They didn't have to say anything. But again, they did. You know, remember I tell you how many times it's like, sometimes you just don't have to say nothing. And just let people sit in silence. You ever had somebody, you ask them a million questions and they never answer?
Yeah.
And you just get more uncomfortable? Mm-hmm. And then you start saying other stuff?
That's a dating technique.
And then you just keep on. And so, last week, there was the belief that by the Black Caucus stepping up, that they would force the hands of the white defectors who are not with the speaker. Because essentially, they were saying the premise is that no one can become a speaker without the Black Caucus, right? And so when the Black Caucus comes out in full-throated support, and all of the individual legislators who have said that they were going to be against the speaker they're all disjointed. They weren't connected. Mm-hmm. They were not. So there was the belief that they could be picked off one at a time while the Black Caucus remained silent. Can I read something to you? Because I think in direct response, and the Black Caucus is losing their power as we speak, because essentially this is what happened after the Black Caucus made their announcement that they were in full throated support. Dear colleagues, over the past weeks and months, each of us has stated publicly we believe it's time for new leadership in the House. While we may have come to this place in different ways and for different reasons, we are unified in our belief that our caucus needs new leadership and that we will be voting for a new speaker in the 102nd General Assembly. It is critical that we come together as a caucus, being Democrats, to address the enormous challenges facing our state, including addressing systemic racism and the dual public health and economic crises created by the pandemic, and we must restore the public trust. We look forward to working collaboratively as a caucus to make that happen. Now, that letter, essentially we heard pieces and parts of people saying that they would not support Speaker Madigan individually. Mm-hmm. And there was the thought that the speaker would be able to then use his files, use his infinite power to break them individually. What they did last on December 12, 2020 was come together as a group and said that our power is not in one, but our power is collective. This was signed by Majority Caucus Chair Kathleen Willis, Representative Jonathan Carroll, Kelly Cassidy, Deb Conroy, Representative Tara Costa, Representative-elect Margaret Croak, Representative Eva Dina Delgado, Dan Diedrich, Robin Gable, Jennifer Gong Gershowitz, Will Gazzardi, Stephanie Kifowitz, Lindsay LaPointe, Anna Moeller, Bob Morgan, Anastasia Murray, Maurice West, Ann Williams, and Sam Yingling. They signed a letter together to say that we will be together, that we will not elect Speaker Madigan. He does not have the votes to become the speaker, and they essentially checkmated the Black Caucus. They essentially neutralized the Black Caucus. That's
interesting, because the person I talked to, because I didn't know that letter existed when I was talking to him, stated that there are people, I guess, is that the 19? Mm-hmm. In the 19 who could change their votes, and they probably would not have a real fight in their district.
This is the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to talk about it because that's all the speaker wizardry, the talking points that the speaker has given. And so what the gauntlet had been in Springfield was that if those groups don't come together as one, and they don't speak as one voice and one unified voice, then they could all be picked off. They have now formed a caucus, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
That is the anti-Madigan caucus, and they are not backing down, suggesting that y'all need to come along and get with the program. I think that the pressure, I think we need a roll call of Black Caucus members who are supporting Mike Madigan. Look, we'll talk about it all when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Minding our Black-owned business. I have a good friend with us this morning. I'm so excited. Jonathan Swain is here. KimBarkBeverage.com. We tend to talk about business a lot. We both are in family businesses. Was this the plan? Because you are second generation business owner.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll talk about it from my father's perspective, and I'll talk about it from my perspective. His perspective, he did not want me to be in this business. The liquor business has a sordid history. You know, they call it a sin business. I mean, it's less that now, but but it had a very sordid history. He didn't want me to do this. He wanted me to go off to school. My father was the first person to fire me at 9 years old. I was supposed to be at work at 11 o'clock, and I showed up 5 minutes late, walked me outside, and fired me. And I'll never be late again. So I appreciate him for that. I walked home. My mother said, well, what happened? I said, Dad fired me. What happened? I was late. He said, well, you got fired. You're late. You can't be late. Told you to get up and leave. My side of it, in many ways, I have a very unique rearing experience in that I've never seen my father work a job. So when I was born, my dad was an entrepreneur. Growing up, it's, I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to be in business doing something, controlling my own destiny in some ways. In particular, my father's generation relative to us, there's not a lot of information transfer about how that works. And there's not a lot of context. It's kind of, I'm going to keep you away from the struggles I had so you don't have them. But in not seeing the struggles, you don't know how to get through the struggles. But as I've gotten older and we developed a relationship and talked about it, I began to understand a lot of the bumps and the bruises and the challenges and what makes entrepreneurship and business ownership not for the weak and weary. All the success I've had in business has been a function of with my parents. As fortunate as I am and people look to my business story, there is no business story but for them and what they did. I mean, my dad was the first black business owner in Hyde Park in the 1970s. Hyde Park, though it's welcoming and inclusive now, wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories that he would tell us about the challenges that he had being a black-owned business in Hyde Park back in the 1970s. And that success comes from their legacy ultimately.
So what you see a bad mother.
Now you can join Muwaki's World on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
That you are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Hey y'all, that's shout out to Tyrone Tate. What's in it for the black people? I'm about to remix this, y'all. I need to get executive. Wait.
What you gonna say when you remix it?
What's in it for the black people? Remix. Take that. Y'all gonna come too. We going to the studio. Y'all gonna sing on it. I'm gonna have y'all sing. We gonna make us a video. We should do a What's in it for the black people Zoom. And then like everybody do their own version. and they could be stepping in the background of their computer.
Like the Chicago Symphony Orchestra?
Something like that. Ruthie, you can put
fun.
it together.
I had a holiday party on Zoom, and it was fun.
Did you get wasted?
No, it was a work party.
I was gonna say you didn't make out with any.
Wasted.
Did you make out with anybody in the copier room? No.
That wasn't no party then.
It was.
All right, y'all. Check this out. So Black Caucus. Let me ask y'all a question, because I was looking in the paper, and I think it's finally getting to the point where even the black media is starting to say, "Really, Black Caucus?"
Right? Come on,
come on. Like really, like.
I heard a suggestion that the older people in the caucus, who I guess who've had longer terms down there, are kind of like driving this train.
Well, that's what I told you happened.
Yeah, the scenario you asked us, when is it time to leave your org?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, to me, this is that black deference. This is when black deference gets us in trouble. See, so I feel like we try to honor our elders, and in honoring our elders, they protect
the people that used to protect them.
But their idea of protection is subsistence, not participation. So it's like, to me, here's what you got. You got people who are like the longest serving elected official, black elected official in Springfield, who should have power, but their power is sworn allegiance to Madigan. So all of these people are handcuffing the young people and taking them to the bottom of the ocean, right? Like, so again, the premise of electing a Black Caucus chairman is supposed to be a swords bearer. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be the person that goes in and takes the fight and says, "I'm fighting for the black people," and all the members don't have to take the whooping. They kind of go in and do that. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a record of standing up, again, if they gave you your spot, right, then you're not going to stand up to those people. I wonder, does the Black Caucus owe black people an explanation? Oh, by the way, we do have a new Black Caucus chair.
Oh.
Sonia Harper. Sonia Harper from Inglewood. She replaced Esther Golar. Appointed to replace Esther Golar, and then won, is now the new Black Caucus chair. She's from Inglewood. So I guess my question is, what is the Black Caucus's political history with black people? Like, what political organization do they come from? What political history or back do they have, right? And where does their power come from? Now, I'm also going to suggest that the Black Caucus, in unequivocally supporting Speaker Madigan, do they owe black people an explanation? Like, is it time for the Black Caucus to start talking? They talk amongst themselves, and they talk about this robust agenda, and they talk about, even Laura Washington from the Chicago Sun-Times was like, "Look, dog, he been there 40 years. We ain't got nothing. And y'all standing up here." I mean, like, when me and Laura Washington are on the same page. No, seriously.
I used to talk like that.
No, I'm saying, seriously. Because, I'm not the traditional,
We know.
Yeah, we're watching that sweater. We know.
So my question becomes, who are these people accountable to? Like,
you mean the reps and senators and judges?
Yeah, I mean, so think about this. If you said that this guy is 40 years and can we ask them what was his plan for the black map? Again, do you think that is Sonia going to hire the black cartographer? My question is, like, what map have you worked on before? Right? Because now our black power is in the hands of who? What example do we have? No shade. Actually, no shade. What I'd love to do is see if we can get Sonia on the show. Representative Harper on the show. Because I would just like to hear from the Black Caucus. I'd like them to articulate this strong leadership that they believe that we need. And then I'd also like to see a roll call. Now, here's the wonderful part. The part is they'll tell us that it's not our business, that it's private, that they made the decision as caucus members. So they get to do all of this under the cloak of darkness. And we all, so imagine if your representative said right now that on behalf of you, you want to keep Mike Madigan as a speaker. How many black people can honestly say that their representatives are representing what they want them to do? Like, how many black representatives could go to their district, could go Facebook Live, could come up and say, man, this is why I'm supporting Speaker Madigan, and this is why I believe it's best for us and our district. And here's why. Because, see, I think y'all give people too much credit. If somebody giving you brown street signs, that's not a win. No, I'm just telling you. So here's the thing. We fall for the symbolic send-off stuff, right? So we mistake being able to do symbolic with doing real work. So when the person that you say most should be the speaker says that he's 100% support of the speaker, is that really who we? And I don't know if we should be. I don't think it makes sense for us to be supporting a black speaker, a black candidate for speaker. Because you're right. There is no one courageous enough that said they would, if the opportunity was there, that they would take it for us. So now I got to ask, which white person should we be hoping has our best interests at hand? Because the white people have articulated in a letter that they're not going backwards.
Let me see that letter so I can choose me another white
person. I think I might.
Then I'll pass it to you, Ty, so you can choose you one.
How about this? I think I'm rocking with Kelly Cassidy. Imagine that. She swiped the weed from us, and but, man, bro. Who? It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
This is retired State Senator Ricky Hendon. This is my new song, Be My Christmas. It's on my House Party CD, produced by house music icon King Farley. It's available on my website, HollywoodHendon.com. And this is our new song, We Getting Lit. The album also has songs like Rona Money. Get the House Party CD in time for Christmas and New Year's Eve.
This is the king of house music, Farley Jack Master Funk. And I endorse Hollywood Ricky Hendon. Let's go to work.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
Tamika Scott. As we take this journey through life, we face trials and tribulations. But just know, the enemy is not gonna win, because the storm is almost over. That's right, the storm is almost over.
Don't you give up, you come too far to turn back now. Hold your head up, it's almost over. So set up to take you to your destiny. It's gonna be alright. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, this is your season. Just keep on believing. Blessings you'll be receiving. Oh, yeah. It will be alright. Put your hands to the sky, keep your head up high. The storm is almost over. Everything is gonna work in your favor. You don't have to worry no more. What you going through won't last. It's a test to take you higher. Just keep the faith, hold on. Clouds may rise, strong winds may blow. It's hard to see through the rain. You gotta hold on. Be strong. Time and change. Almost over. Put your hands to the sky, keep your head up high. The storm is almost over. Everything is gonna work in your favor. You don't have to worry no more. What you going through won't last. It's a test to take you higher. Just keep the faith, hold on. The storm is almost over. Just hold on. Be strong. Don't give up. Just hold on.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ty Stroger. It's going down in the DMs. Not the DMs. It's going down in the social media. It seemed like everybody done got woke up. So let's go ahead and talk about it, right? Shout out to, shout out to Representative LaShawn Ford. Representative Ford, give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-74. Love to talk to any members of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. I would love to understand the chess and checkers of it all, right? I would love to understand the chess and checkers of it all when we're talking about what's happening in Springfield. I think chess, checkers, and math are all relevant here.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I told you Algebra 2 would come in handy once.
You told what?
Algebra 2 would come in handy.
Oh, Algebra 2, right. Well, shoot, this ain't algebra. This is simple math.
Mm.
Addition, subtraction. And I see the comments going live, and I think one of the things that I love about the social media is we got a two-way conversation. And I really would love to talk to any member of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. Representative Ford is kicking it in the conversations, and so I'd love to talk to you. Give us the clip. Tell us, email us the clip. We'll play it. I guess my question becomes, why? Like, I saw the quote that said, if this was about corruption and morals, we would have been gotten rid of them.
Right.
Right? I read that clip. I read it in the paper. I saw it. And for me, the challenge becomes, if y'all are playing the game for black folks, y'all got to clue black folks in. Like, the challenge is, it's like we're smart. We know what we're doing. And y'all should just trust us. But as we look through every one of our neighborhoods, if we look through every one of our neighborhoods, you got to ask, where does it come through? Right? You got to ask, what's the math? What are you pointing to as what's in it for the black people? Right? When I look at the black districts, except not the ones that if you look at the black districts and you look at black districts that include black people and white people, there's a difference between Oak Park and Maywood. Yes? No?
Yes.
Is there a difference between Elmwood Park and, right? There's differences, and I'm saying we abut these same communities, and I challenge, not I challenge. I'm respectfully and humbly asking that the Black Caucus tell us why. Tell us what is the benefit. I guess before, because if we say it's Speaker Madigan in the map, my question would be, why do the Latinos use Victor Reyes to do their map? They got a person. Did y'all hire a cartographer? Who have you engaged? Right? The challenge becomes, are we participating in our own demise? And I think the chess and checkers is that's a real, show me the chess. Meet with the black people. Pick some black people. Because again, the only people telling us that our leadership, that we gotta elect him because we need strong, powerful leadership in this. What do we have? Who's our people that's in that category? Like, so let's not say the strong leaders that are going to be the speaker, but who's our strong leaders in the hierarchy?
Right.
And what are they saying? What is the plan? Like, again, and when we talk about this black, we talking about Egan, we talking about, didn't they tell us when Mike Brown got killed that they were going to do criminal justice reform? Remember, and then we read in the paper, same group, we read in the federal documents that they said all of these black people are upset. All these black people are upset. So let's come up and let's pile all this legislation together and make it equal nothing. Remember that? We read it. Let's go to the live line because we got Rep Ford on the line. What's up, Rep Ford? How you feeling, man?
Good. What's going on?
I
like the conversation.
Awesome. So, Representative Ford, first of all, let me tell you, thank you for being willing to call in. This has got to be one of the hottest topics in the world. And what we are trying to find out as the black community that is represented by our Black Caucus, first of all, I'll start with the quote and then also send us the clip. But I noted that
I sent it. It's in there.
Okay, cool.
In there. The reason why I'm making sure that I call because I had an interview with anybody because, I'm not ashamed to talk about what I do.
Got it.
So I'm ready for your questions.
So talk to me, Representative. Why is the Black Caucus standing behind Speaker Mike Madigan, and are there no leaders amongst us that are willing to be in the leadership role?
Well, I'll speak for myself.
Okay.
And I don't want to be the Speaker of the House. So that's what I can tell you about me.
Okay.
There are black people that want to be Speaker. Why they don't run right now is their calculated agenda, I'm sure. But that's the answers to that.
So Representative Ford, why is the Black Caucus supporting Speaker Madigan, and what is in it for the black people?
Right, that's a good question. So now, ain't nobody in love with Mike Madigan. What you have two candidates that's in the race. You have Kifowit that votes against all things that relate to the advancement of black people. I'm the author of the SEAL bill. If it wasn't for my work in Springfield and all the other people that push this, all the people that's getting their records sealed right now wouldn't be getting it sealed. Kipowit don't believe in that type of stuff. I'm not here to defend Mike Madigan. Who gives a damn about if Mike Madigan goes to jail? But right now we got two people, Kipowit, Madigan. 19 people saying, no, we're not voting for Madigan, but they don't have anybody else up to give the Black Caucus or anybody else an option. We got to have a speaker in January. Otherwise, what you saw under the Ronners administration is going to be kids' play if we don't get a speaker, because we're not going to even be able to convene to have sessions.
So with all hold on. So this is what you're telling me. You're telling me that there is no difference between having a Democratic governor, a supermajority in the House, and a supermajority in the Senate, and Bruce Rauner? Are you suggesting that with all of those, hold on, let me finish. With all of those Democrats, you're telling me that within all of those people that y'all can't get together without Speaker Madigan leading the group?
No, he was saying that's
not what I said.
Hold on, Rep. I heard you well. What he's saying is if the House does not elect the speaker, then the business of the state will not happen. So they're not voting for, what's her name? The other side's not voting for Madigan. But eventually, if they don't get together, then we're not going to have a budget. We're not going to have any committees meet. Nothing will happen.
And so what I'm trying to understand, though, is where do we fit in that? Where do black people fit in that? And what role does the Black Caucus play in that? So you're suggesting that out of 22 members, and he said that there are members that are interested in being speaker, and the Black Caucus holds a forum that we can't even play in our own damn forum. Like, you can't play on the whole. I guess my question is, are there no people worthy of leadership in the Black Caucus in Springfield, Representative Ford? Are there no other people that can lead?
I'll tell you right now.
Yes, sir.
We are 22, but we're playing, believe it or not, in a environment that's super majority white, that controls the money, that controls everything. Black people have to make sure that they play their cards right and don't cut their nose off to spite their face. I mean, when you elect a politician, you don't elect somebody that's supposed to go throw bombs everywhere. You elect a strategic leader. Then if Mike Madigan goes to jail tomorrow, Black people will live. If there is somebody that comes up that can take and run against Madigan in the round 1, round 2, there's a good chance that Black people may go for that person in round 2. There's a good chance that there could be a Black person that emerges as a challenger, because this is not happening until January. So we're looking for a Black speaker.
So
Maurice West stepped out and he said, I'm not supporting Mike Madigan. He's with the 19. They say they want to have a Black speaker. Why in the hell they won't elect and say we're supporting Maurice West? Because they're full of it. Because if they come out and
what
say,
are we doing? But
we're
let's back
giving
up.
our 19.
Let's back up from them though. Let's back up from what the white folks are doing. Let's not even talk.
No, it's all about them white people that's controlling the money, that's got a super majority of the vote. You always focus on the Black caucus. No, you focus on the Black caucus, then we only have 22 votes. It takes 60 votes to pass anything.
So
I mean, if you look at the history of the Black caucus and the things that we fight for, and you look at the white people that stand against it, and you look at the white communities that stand with their elected officials, and then you look at our community and the things that we fight for in our community that can't really stand with us because they're struggling and they don't have the wherewithal to fight the way the white people fight. We need you and everybody to not worry about, but to support us like we're family and give us the strength to fight for you. And then we could really rise up. But right now, all we have is people telling us that we're doing wrong.
Representative,
I think the argument that, and I'm not speaking for Mays, but he can agree with me if he like, and I'm sure he will because it's smart. The argument really is if the Black Caucus at this moment stood up and said, you know what, we see the numbers, neither side is going to win this. We think that this state's been going on since, 1818. We haven't had a Black speaker. We haven't had a Black majority leader. It's time for a Black speaker. And until that happens, ain't nothing happening. We're not voting for anything but.
I agree with you, Todd. I guess my question is, it's funny to me because everything we hear is that nothing happens without the Black caucus from everybody else, right? White folks running around talking about we can't elect speaker. They talking about it's got to be a Black person, blah, 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 or we can't get something done without the Black caucus. Speaker can't stay the speaker without the Black caucus, right? The people in the catbird seat are the Black caucus, and then they tell us, even as the whole world and as we are looking and doing the math, right, that there is no, that we hear as we're doing the math, that the Black caucus is the only people saying that they ain't got no power. The only people telling us that they can't get nothing done are the Black caucus. And it's like, if that's the case, then why did the speaker have have you all have a candidates forum, knowing that you all agree to have a candidates forum, knowing that you're trying to get your own candidate there and you ace your own guy out? It's just crazy to me. And I don't think everybody is against the Black caucus, but I don't think the Black caucus can point to really anything tangible over the last 20 years that moved us forward. Maybe they protected some things.
Oh, brother, I just told you one that I did. I could give you a whole list of things.
So stay right there.
As a legislator.
So stay right there. And when we come back, Then we're gonna take it. We'll take your call, and we're gonna let you tell us what's in it for the black people.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
We have a very, very special guest, man, joining us on today's show.
Walter Beach, he's my godfather and one of two of the dopest black men I've met in my entire life.
This is how I always introduce myself. I'm black in attitude, I'm black in behavior, I'm black in belief and thought, and I'm African in spirit. I accept and acknowledge the fact of my African self being intuitively and have developed the cognitive strength to function as a black man in America. As an African black man, my hypocrisy manifests as silent rage. I must decide what my relationship to racism will be. Only I can say when and where I enter my manhood with quiet, undisputed dignity, without violence or special patronage, asking no quarters, and giving no quarters. When and where I enter, I take with me my people. That's what the sovereignty that Toussaint was talking about means to me. I'm a sovereign human being. And like he was talking about in that point that we made in Amistad when we was talking about, all of our species demands to be free. They may not have the power to prevent it, but they just demands it. And that's what they do. That's what the struggle is about.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar on the live line. We got State Representative LaShawn Ford. Representative Ford, let me back up before we go down this path. Rep, are you there? Representative Ford. Okay, cool. So let me stop real quick because I said earlier today I was going to stop getting emotional, right? I was going to stop being emotional. And I will say that as a legislator representative, you have been pretty active as it relates to issues for Black people, particularly in your district. And so I don't want to negate that, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to list some of those things because I cannot negate what you've done. I guess my question is collectively, what would you say has been the collective benefit, proactive, right? Like I hear oftentimes the Black Caucus say, all the things we fight to save. But it seems like the white folks keep moving the ball forward even as their safety net is preserved. What would you say has been the most significant accomplishment for Black people from the Illinois General Assembly from the last 10 years? Not individually, but collectively, that Black people can...
As a whole.
Yep.
Okay, as a whole.
Yes, sir.
I would tell you, one, when what you are electing when you elect legislators, you legislate policymakers and people that make appropriations. That's what our jobs are. Our jobs are to legislate and to appropriate. And you can look at the dollars that have come back to our community. The shame of it is the people that's getting these dollars, they're not doing what they need to do for our neighborhoods. It's poverty pimps, and that's unfortunate.
Who are those people?
Are there
organizations?
We should go through the budget. There are organizations. It's really disappointing because there have been many, many Black people that have benefited from tax dollars that have sold our communities out. And it's so unfortunate that our black people are struggling and our own black people that's getting money are not taking care of our people. Now, we appropriate. You got Mary Flowers, you got that's been getting money to her district, and you got Jackie Collins. She's been working hard. Every black elected official, if you look at their record, they have delivered. Even Connie Howard, think about all that she did before she left.
That she's been gone 10 years.
Maddie Hunter.
Hold on, stop. So I'm not trying to be funny. I'm gonna ask, what would you say has been the collective win from the Black Caucus in the last 10 years? What can we say? What can we point to? I'm not talking about social services, because again, you just said that those organizations that have been getting a bulk of the money allocated to our community have shorted us, have not done what they're supposed to be. So I'm not exactly sure how they continue to get funded in the organ if we know that they're not effective. When we saw the quote from the former chairman of the Black Caucus, and she said that it was amazing that after looking at the years and seeing that over 10 years, nothing had really changed for black people. So now I got to ask you on this call, collectively, what would we say has been the collective win for black people based on our representation?
Hey, let me quickly say. Let me quickly say, LaShawn, let me quickly say, Representative, that for decades it appears that we have been the Chicago Bears defense. We play very good defense. What is the offense?
Thank you. And so what President Stroger is saying, if it wasn't for the Black Caucus, believe me, our communities would be worse than they are, because people don't really care about our communities. So what has been the collective efforts for black legislators? One, we know that child care in the black community would be decimated if it wasn't for black legislators. It's because of black legislators making sure that we have access to early childhood centers in the black community. Don't have black people there. Who in the hell would care if we had it? Nobody. If it wasn't for black people in the legislature, you talk about Medicaid, people that just cannot afford and don't have jobs, they can now go to the doctor and they can receive their medicine. If it's not for black people, who would make that happen? It's the black legislators. This is our job, to legislate and appropriate.
What's the difference between, can I ask you a question? What's the difference between how black people legislate and appropriate and white people legislate and appropriate? Because I think that the whole premise of everything that we've seen over these last 2 years demonstrates the difference on how that works for black people and works for white people. So why does it seem like when we legislate and appropriate, it is backwards? Play this quote, because you talked about the things, and I just want to play a short clip, because even when we talk about the safety net, we heard the white folks describing what happened with the safety net, the same entities that we say to protect. Play it, Sonia.
The state got a distribution of the drug remdesivir, about 140 cases of it. It could be a lifesaver for a lot of folks. Roseland didn't get any. How come?
Remdesivir is here in Illinois, but it's nowhere near the new Roseland Community Hospital. I guess we didn't qualify. And I just I can't understand why that is. We have the sickest of the sick, and we have people dying. We have a 37% morbidity rate for those inpatients who are admitted for COVID-19. The disparity here is unquestionable. African Americans are dying at an alarming rate. We're 7% of the population and 16% of the deaths here in Chicago. Remdesivir should be here at Roseland Community Hospital. As of even this morning, I've sent an email to Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton asking, how do we get in line for this remdesivir? Please talk to us. We've submitted applications to IDPH. We're in constant contact and asked.
We also saw $1 billion industry. So that's remdesivir, which is Roseland, which was the hospital that was impacted the most. We talk about saving the safety net, and they got none of the vaccine when it was there. We saw cannabis, right? We saw it is now $1 billion industry. And let me commend you on being in the fight to get it happen. But how did it happen? How did $1 billion industry get created in Illinois with a black caucus voting unanimously and selling it to us? And then now everybody's got their hands up in the air. What has been the game? And I'm not talking about protecting, as Todd said, the defense, protecting what existed. Because I'm going to tell you that those, if we got it in the black community, the white folks got that too, but they figured out a way to how to get economics on that as well. Let's talk about it more. Actually, just give me a station ID, and then we're going to continue this conversation.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
This is retired State Senator Ricky Hendon. This is my new song, Be My Christmas. It's on my House Party CD, produced by house music icon King Farley. It's available on my website, HollywoodHendon.com. And this is our new song, We Getting Lit. The album also has songs like Throwing Money. Get the House Party CD in time for Christmas and New Year's Eve.
This is the king of house music, Farley Jack Master Funk, and I endorse Hollywood Ricky Hendon. Let's go to work.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ty Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. We're doing a little bit different. Representative Ford is on the live line. Shout out to Representative Ford for having the courage to call in. And not even just the courage, but the willingness to address the people. Never been one to hide out, always at the forefront. Got to make sure I give him the props. But y'all know, I got to ask, Rep, how did that happen? How is it that...
Okay, you had a few questions.
Go ahead.
You talking about cannabis?
Yep.
So cannabis, if people that's in the mix know how it happened, I would tell you I was standing on the table saying I wasn't voting for that cannabis bill. But my very own black people from the community came to Springfield and told me this is what I want. You need to vote for this because this is our chance.
Who were those people?
And you do your service. I'm not going to name people because they've already apologized and they say you were right. One thing about it, I told them that we were getting bamboozled and that I didn't want to vote for it. I could have still not voted for it, but I'm telling you, they came to Springfield in buses and they demanded that we vote for that bill. I mean, what more? And when you tell them that you're not getting ready to get what you expect and they want it, what can you do?
Chicago normal. All right, keep going. Okay.
And so, yeah, so how did it happen? And it did not pass unanimously with all black people voting for it. There are a few black people that did not vote for it, like Mary Flowers. She didn't vote for it. And there are probably maybe, I don't know if there's any others, but I do know that even Camille Lilly voted present. So not every black person voted for it. I voted for it.
Okay, so what would you say collectively? And I got you on the the Medicaid and Medicare, which I think benefits all people. What would you say the black community? What would you say collectively is the largest win for the black community coming from the Black Caucus's work? Let's say, and let's not talk about social services. Let's talk about economics. Right, let's talk about our community.
I mean, you can't. That's what we got to talk about. You have to, when you talk about social services, you deal with economics because you take nonprofits and you grow them into. These are people that hire individuals, and when you hire people in nonprofits, they start their own businesses.
But
so you can't say that social services play a major role. White people get rich off of social services.
Well, they get rich off of social services in our communities too. But Rep, I guess my question then is, though, in this same conversation, just previously you told us that those same social service organizations that are in our community have shortchanged us. So how does that happen? So if we've got how
does it happen?
Yes, how does that happen? How do the same social service organizations that short us then become the ones that consistently get funded? And then when we had these conversations, you pointing to them saying they did it, but y'all funded them.
Well, I'm funding. I have social services that I'm trying to build up so that they could be the ones that's going to run and help our communities. But here is the call. The call is for black people to run poverty pimps out of our community and demand that we have people that will take care of our community and our community. It's not just our job as legislators. We can get whatever we want if black people stand with each other to get what we need. Look, you remember, and I have to always remind you, when you were executive director of the Black Caucus, we had that meeting with Ronner. And I told Ronner in his face with all of the Black Caucus members, Ronner, the only way you could be successful in this role as governor is to make sure that Black people are taken care of. And that's the way I talk. That's the fight that I always have for our people, because there's no way the state could ever heal if we don't come together as Black people and demand the way the gay and lesbian community has demanded, the way the immigrants have demanded. You want to always say the Black legislators, but I want to ask you, where is the fight in our community with the Black legislators pushing the Black legislators with the agenda?
I would suggest this, that when the Black Caucus puts together an agenda and goes to a white law firm to announce it and put a white person up on the stage to discuss the black agenda, I think it becomes a challenge, right? And I think that, quite frankly, hold on. Let me finish though, because I also think it's a challenge because, quite frankly, what has happened is, Representative, is that the community is not pleased, right? The community right now, Black folks are hurting. We're last at everything. And so what happens is, it's like everybody comes in and tells us these stories, and then they tell us about how they've helped this social service agency, how they've helped set other organizations, but we don't see it play out in our community economically. And so I guess my question with you all is like, when is it your job to come to the Black community? If y'all presenting a Black agenda that Mike Madigan is talking about and no Black people have seen it besides the legislators and Mike Madigan, where is our entry point? How does Mike Madigan know the Black agenda that he has to pass this year and we ain't seen it?
Well, I mean, I think that the Black people, we've taken the Black agenda to the
usual suspects.
Operation Push, the NAACP. We've taken it to the Urban League, and it's been presented in front of all of those legacy Black groups. And we've been working with them to make it happen. Now, if you want to talk about a Black agenda, I gave the Black people, starting in June, I've been asking for rapid relief funding for Black people and to make sure that the governor, I sent that to you. You guys have it. I've been demanding that the governor and the Black people stand up for rapid relief to deal with the crises in our Black community. And I don't get support for that. You know, I'm going to tell you, I put myself out there for the Black people my whole career as a politician and as a professional real estate broker and a teacher by profession. I'm never satisfied with the work that we're doing, but I'm telling you, we have to come together to fight together. When you say that we're the laughing stock in the Black community, that's the problem. If you saw us as family, you ain't gonna laugh at your brothers and sisters that's in the struggle. Brother, you're gonna be fighting with them.
LaShawn, now, Representative Ford.
Yeah,
let's
call me LaShawn.
Representative Ford, I'm deference to you on this on here, and I mean it's like it's all good. So I want to make sure that I respect your title. But
so I think that Mays has a point that the document that you have should have, and maybe I'm wrong, but it should be sent to at least the Black media outlets so they can talk about it and disperse it and let other people know what it says. Because, you know, it may need some editing. There may be some, maybe some insurance agents say, hey, you know what, we'll fit in this, all that kind of stuff. But if people don't know, they can't make any input.
And let's be clear, though, that when it comes to providing support, right? Like that's a two-way street. And I would say that there's never been a point on this show since I've been here that when a Black man is about to get lynched, that we participate in the lynching. But if you got the rope, and quite frankly, oftentimes and I'm not going to say so much for you, Representative Ford, but there is a comfort bubble that the legislators live in. And just like you talked about, when I was executive director of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus, I saw it up close and personal. And quite frankly, oftentimes legislators get comfortable with lobbyists, and they get comfortable going to eat downtown and eat in Springfield and having these relationships. And I'm going to tell you, in my estimation, that I think you could talk about what you've done individually, but I would say that collectively, and having watched what happened with the last map and watching that we got to keep our legislative districts and then watch the Latinos get $100 million to build new schools while everybody just sat around and watched it happen. I'm telling you right now, we're last in all 16 economic indicators, and I think you all bear some responsibility in it. And quite frankly, you bear a bulk of the responsibility, because if you're telling me that the appropriations and the allocations go from Springfield, right, and how many appropriation shares do we have, and how many people that dispense that money, tell me how. And what has been the economic investment in the black community? Because I was just thinking about the biggest one that we've seen was the $15 million to build the HIV center. And that went to a white agency. And then if you tell me that we got all these poverty pimps in our community, who's addressing it? Because if we're refunding it, if Black Caucus members know that these people are poverty pimps, right? And we're building, again, social service industries to be, again, social service millionaires instead of for-profit business, as we watched as Madigan and his crew raped, robbed, and pillaged the whole state with no black people even mentioned, like even in participating in the economics. You got to understand, like, there's something missing here. And when we talking about chess and checkers,
you're right.
I don't know who's playing the chess and who's playing the checkers. And I would say that the checkers is being played in Springfield.
Let me tell you. Mage, I'm going to tell you, what you fail to understand, this is your show, Mr. Jackson, but what you fail to understand, the greatest contribution that you could make is unifying the black people. There's no gain in doing anything but making your politicians do what they need to do. That means being involved in it. What is your agenda for the black community? We have to come together. If we don't come together, we just talk about each other. It's no different than your brothers and sisters. Are you going to support them in the struggle, or are you going to beat them down in the struggle? I promise you, the more we come together, the more we get. And it's a fact. We see it in history. A. Philip Randolph was with the president. He told him, make me do it. We were so afraid to make Obama do anything. We didn't get anything.
So we're making
I promise
you do
you,
it.
you want to start make me do it, but come with an agenda and don't just say do this, but you got to fight with me.
Hold on. We got House Bill 4865 right down in Springfield.
That's
super simple.
That's just a bill. You know, how's that going to change? That bill that you're talking about, that will not help total in the totality, because now you're falling in the same category where black legislators are saying we pass bills all the time. It is not about one bill. It's about unity, unifying the black community to get what we need.
So pick something to unify around. So you got to pick something to unify around. You got, and I think that
I think that's a black speaker right now.
Right. Well, no, but it's not a black speaker because none of them want that. Right. They've already said they already had their forum. And none of the people said they was.
You know what Billy Shakespeare said.
What did Billy Shakespeare say?
He said sometimes people are thrust into greatness. Somebody needs to be thrust into greatness. There needs to be a point where everybody can rally around and make things happen.
Didn't they kind of get that up though when they gave the forum and already made their endorsement?
Man, this is politics. Things change like a windsock.
I heard that. Ruthie, you've been pretty quiet.
Can I make one comment before you guys end ours? Here's another example. When Laquan McDonald was murdered, 16 shots in the cover-up, you guys did a whole lot on that. I went out and I called for Rahm Emanuel to be removed from office, a recall, filed legislation. The black community refused to support that. You didn't support it either. We could have got Rahm Emanuel recalled.
Did the Black Caucus? Hold on, stop.
Wait a minute. It's not my show, but I'm not going to live in the past. Tomorrow, They were going to be voting on the speaker. That's what's important now.
Hold on, I got you. But wait a minute. You're suggesting that how many Black Caucus members signed up for that? How many how many of your so before you come to me, right? Before you come to me, the same people who and I read the federal documents where it said when Mike Brown got killed and Speaker Madigan and Mike McClain and Tim Mapes all got together and said, yeah, all the Black people got this legislation because they're all excited. What are we going to do? We're going to pile it all together. We're going to give it to LG Sims and we're going to make it do nothing.
My name wasn't in there.
All I'm saying, no, but what I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there was a lot of legislation that came out around Laquan McDonald, Mike Brown, all of these things that was legislation that, again, made great headlines. But if you telling me I didn't support it, you ain't called me to support it. But beyond that, because it's not about me, did the Black Caucus, your colleagues, who all knew what happened and who all had represented someone who looked like that, were you able to unite them? And if you can't unite them around the Black Death, then don't get mad at me right now, because I'm saying...
I'm not mad. But see, it's not personal. Let me tell you what I'm trying to tell you.
Got it.
The community will make their politicians do what needs to be done. The sooner we realize that the power is with the people, the better off we would be.
I think that's what we're trying
is with the people.
And that is representative. That's why we talk about what happens every day, because right now for the Black Caucus, the power is not with the people. The power is with Speaker Madigan, who has the ability to protect most of the legislators from the people. That's why when you go down the list, they have been they've been so powerful because Mike Casper will knock all of your opponents off the ballot, so then you can vote however you want, because but they're not going to have a competitor to answer questions against. Representative, let me just say this. I'm going to let you have the last word because I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. And we should do this more. But I tell you, I hear you all the time saying all of them were appointed. You must remember that I beat an incumbent. I beat Todd Schroeder's friend.
You did.
Kelvin Giles. That's how I got there. And I still got $150,000 debt that I spent of my own money to get there. So I'm not... nobody controls me but the people. And if you look at my voting record, if you look at the work that I do and what I stand for, you will see that I stand for the people. And the people could dictate what happens. It happens in every other community, but we got this situation with our Black community where Black people are being bought off by white people. Let's stick together and watch how it happens.
Let me ask you a question.
And Calvin Giles has said good things about you too after you beat him.
I think, let me be clear that Representative Ford would be one of the legislators that is proactively fighting for Black people. But Representative Ford, I gotta ask though, right? Like again, I don't know if the rest of your colleagues feel the same way, right? I don't know if the rest of your colleagues feel the same way or have given us any examples that they feel the same way. I think that you fight every day for your constituents without a doubt. But I am not sure that we see that as they're not necessarily fighting for what their constituents want. They fight for what they believe is the best or what lobbyists tell them is the best for them. Representative Ford, let me just say one more time, I appreciate you taking the time to call out and call in, get on the show, and you should do this more often. I think that part of the reality is, and the reason that you see this, is because the legislators have really walled themselves off. They have found a way to say everybody is against it. Man, you got to address the issues. People are ticked off. It's like we're last in all 16 economic indicators. But if you are protected, right, because you can go to Springfield and you can go eat dinner with Ted Brunsville, and next thing you know, Pruns fold. And now you go to these little restaurants and you ain't even really got to see the people. And then we all just become the mad haters. But realistically, we are the people that have to live through the decisions that you and the lobbyists make and Speaker Madigan. But I want to tell you once again, wholeheartedly appreciate you.
Let me give you credit. You are right. I'm not going to name any legislators, but we don't have all our Black legislators that's just pro-Black. That's a problem. You know, and I want to wish all of you all, I really appreciate you all I want to wish y'all a Merry Christmas, because we do need to come together. All I want is for us to find a way to come together and at least give unity a shot, a fight. I think that if we could just come together and fight as Black people and just see what the outcome will be, we will be surprised, because they are afraid of us coming together. Let's just pick one issue. Let's not go all over the board. Let's get one win, and that's money. And I'll give you an example. The governor, we passed a $45 billion capital bill. Why don't we all come together and demand billions of dollars for development in our community and watch we win? We can win. That's the one issue that we need, because if we could get billions of dollars in capital money to redevelop our neighborhoods, making sure that there are no vacant buildings, no vacant storefronts, abandoned buildings, no vacant lots. Let's build up our community. We're going to put people to work. We're going to increase property values in our neighborhoods. Crime will go down. It's about economics. So if you want to work together, we could put pressure on J.B. Pritzker and get billions of dollars in our community to rebuild Austin, Inglewood, Rose, and Pullman. I'm ready.
You know what, Rep? I'm ready to. I guess I'm a little. I must be honest. I'm a tad bit pessimistic when we talk about the $45 billion, right? Just straight up. I'm a bit pessimistic when we talk about going after the $45 billion with J.B. Pritzker, when there was a $1 billion industry that was created with a ground floor, and we figured out a way to not get included in any of that. That stated, I'm open to work on whatever, but I don't want to spin my wheels. And as it relates to us coming together, that works two ways, right? That works both ways. And I think oftentimes the legislators have been put in a position where they treat the rest of the Black community that is not necessarily in agreement with them as they are royalty and we are peons, them Negroes over there. And so I think there's some internal and some external. It's like when somebody doesn't agree and say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, then you wind up being ignored. And it's, again, you get to go run to the comfort of these white lobbyists who ain't even got no Black partners. Representative Ford, man, I appreciate you calling in, man. And, feel free anytime you call. We will take the call, my brother.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
All right. And a blue fire to you. Now, you see that? He's my frat brother. And we still went at it. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's still that blue and white. Look, y'all, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing Black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your Black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
For the Black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonya, and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I bet y'all a little bit confused because it's really 8:25. It's not 8 o'clock. That means you really only got 35 minutes to get there. 34, actually. 34 in a few seconds because, you know, that conversation with State Representative LaShawn Ford was important, so we blew past the break. Let me say
but
what's
on
up.
a brighter note, Ruthie Mays and I have found a husband for you.
Yay!
And you only have to sign over your property after you get married.
What am I, chopped liver?
I think you got sold yesterday. I think
you got to
talk
to Herb about that one.
Herb Howard was out auctioning off Sonia's name and number. Look, can I tell you something though? Yesterday,
a digit at a time.
Yes, pay me for it. Can I tell y'all something? It was pretty funny though to see the fellas lurking around downstairs. Is Sonia gonna come? Is Ruthie gonna be there? Where's Dawn? Yo, and it's like, you know, you see people sitting in their car, and it's like, then they hop out when they see y'all coming up the steps. Ruthie, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. I think Ruthie was looking at Big Ron though. She like Big Ron look like big folks. What's up?
I said, Ron, that's your daddy.
Right. Listen, you know, Ruthie was looking like one of them memes where it'd be like, how I'm gonna be with somebody's daddy. You know how they do.
Hey, we're at that age. Either you or your daddy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger, Sonia Escobar. Did I get everybody? Maze, Todd, Ruthie, Sonia?
Close enough.
All right, y'all. So, anybody got any thoughts? Can we get a calls in on the conversation? 872-259-7474. I know I blew past our thing. First of all, can I get some feedback from my co-hosts? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. We got an opportunity to talk to a representative for about 40 minutes.
Yep.
30, 40 minutes. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. The phone's not on? We got to turn it back on? Oh, we got to turn the phone back on. Ruthie, don't let it slide off the table. Again, woman.
Look, I'm going to go.
Get,
I can get on the floor.
Get your woman duties, and don't you let me ever, don't you.
Ruthie's like, I got to unchain my foot so I can get over here.
But y'all, what was your takeaway? 872-259-7474. We are opening up the phone lines. Todd, what was your takeaway?
I think he spoke to what I say all the time, that the people push things, and if you don't get people pushing for the right things, then you find yourself always fighting for, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing, but you're fighting for just one thing when the pie is, circular. You're just fighting for this one slice instead of fighting for the whole pie, because we don't get enough response from the other groups in our community to say, wait, we need this, and we will be there with you to get it.
So, Todd, I was thinking, he was like, I don't know any other way to get people to know about what's going on, because they don't really talk about what's going on in Springfield. So I feel like part of my, what he was saying, I kind of get, but I feel like I got to get people worked up, because if we don't get people worked up, right, they don't know about it. Like, I think that people think that the stuff that happens to them is funny. I'm not going to really quote I said what I said, but I don't think that this stuff is like by happenstance. It's like there is a willful plan to take resources. I don't know if somebody says, hey, we're going to screw the black people. I think that they look at the resources that are intended for us, and they feel like that we don't need those. Or they feel like they have they say that thing where black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect. And so I think the legislators oftentimes are fooling themselves. It's like a combination of, I'm going to fool myself and I don't want to face the music. Of the reality is, I don't know if I heard anything tangible outcome-wise.
I think this January is going to be like rebuilding Rome. It took Romulus and Remus 7 days to build Rome. But you got to start with something, and I think their first start is by saying, you know what, forget all this foolishness. It has to be a black speaker, or we're not in.
So I feel like...
Because you know what? Because we are looked at differently than everybody else. The downstaters could say that, and people might ignore them.
But they look at themselves differently, right? Like everybody else, everybody else sees the importance of the Black Caucus. He even said that there are Black Caucus members who want to be speaker, but they wouldn't speak at their own forum. So if they want to be speaker, but they wouldn't speak at their own forum, what are we supposed to expect? Self-preservation is rule number one. If you can't be safe at the crib, right? Like, if I can't come in my own living room in my drawers, it's not my house.
That's true. I want to say maybe my third or fourth year downstate, I'm sitting next to one of the Republicans, and we're talking. You know how you get a relationship after you've been sitting by somebody for so long, and they say, I really respect the Black Caucus. And I was like, really? Because I didn't think, I didn't think anything of it. But he was like, I like the way they stick together and get things done. But
and it's funny
he was talking from a white man's perspective.
Right. He was like, they ain't messed with our pockets.
Yeah, basically.
Like when you hear a white person congratulating you on a job well done, that means you lost. When have you heard a white person say, I'm glad the black people got more resources? You did a really good job. Right? So, but we take that as flattery because that's the same people congratulating them, telling them they did a good job.
Right.
Right? The white boy says, I love how you guys stick together. And then they say, we've been sticking together to save Medicaid. You mean to tell me that you saved the federal government's program? That's what you did? That's what you I think Barack Obama claims that.
Well, you may have saved a few hospitals, but
right, but
I get what you're saying.
So again, the white folks be like, see, we didn't kill all y'all this year.
And it's actually like saying a lot of those things
we let you keep
affect white people just like they affect
that's
black
Obamacare. Obamacare, same thing. But it's like this reminds me of that conversation. Reminded me of. Did you watch Fargo?
Sorry.
So if you watch Fargo, so y'all gotta watch Fargo. But the Fargo, at the end of the show, they killed, and Chris Rock realized he was gonna lose. And the mob guy comes to him and he says, we're gonna take this, and this. And Chris Rock was like, man, you're taking half of what I got. And the Italian guy says, no, think of it like this. We're letting you keep half. Right? And that is
this Kansas City?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Kansas City.
So Fargo is just a name. It doesn't...
Fargo, well, the movie was based on the Fargo. It was based on the actual movie. And then it switched up.
Okay.
But again, think about what it's like.
But that's every big city.
Yeah, but he just came in here and convinced us.
I mean, how white people, even the gangster scene, that's how it happened in every big city.
Right. But here's my point. My point is he came and sold that to us. He said they let us keep half. Right? Like that's our stuff already. As an American citizen, you cannot count. I'm sorry. In my estimation, you can't count what we already got and say, ooh, I gave you Medicaid. No. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to take a break. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to talk about some new shows. Y'all made me skip the DC update. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Joined by Dartisha Pitts, Esquire. I asked you to join us on the Book of Dawn because you are that girl. And I wish more of us did take the time to honor each other
as women and successful women because our unity, I truly believe that. Dartisha Pitts serves as the General Counsel for the Office of the Illinois Lieutenant Governor. In 2017-18, she served as the President of the Cook County Bar Association.
Becoming an attorney was almost default. I think it was more so a personality thing. I always wanted to advocate for those who couldn't advocate for themselves. And growing up, I would get in trouble for that. Because my mom, be like, look, they're not even talking and you talking, you be quiet. I kind of almost felt the injustice for others, sometimes even more than I feel the injustice for myself. I would say in high school, I was the sophomore class president. So I've always taken leadership positions to push the voice of my colleagues. I'm also from the South Side. I've seen so many injustices that I always felt like our community, our families, where do you go? I've seen and been victim of from family where you've been victim of a slumlord. How do you address and get a remedy in that situation? I grew up in an environment where the police would be in the community and you would see the police harass those on the block for no reason. How do you get a remedy? Everybody talked about a lawyer, but nobody knew how to access one directly. And I think that was my drive to continue to be an advocate. I didn't know it was going to be a lawyer, though.
You apply and get accepted at Northern Illinois College of Law. Did you go directly after undergrad to law school?
No, I actually, right after undergrad, I moved to Washington, D.C., to work at a international law firm, Skadden Arps, Slate Marn Flom, in their corporate section. And I was a legal assistant for a year. When I got there and I realized how much I was making and how much those attorneys were making, who did go straight through, they weren't that much older than me, that influenced my law school trajectory. But I realized that although they did well, the type of work was not meaningful and purposeful enough for me. I wanted to be connected to the community. So I came back home and went to law school. I took 2 years out in between undergrad and law school.
And you not only complete, as many do, but you actually then take and pass the bar. Because that's the tricky piece. Lots
on the first try.
There you go. A full anomaly right there. And I think it discourages some potential students or people from going into law because that bar exam is, first of all, not easy to pass on the third try, but for somebody to pass it on the first try is indeed confirmation that you were doing what you were supposed to do.
Yep.
The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media. Hey family, this is Dawn Millhouse from the Book of Dawn. Christmas and holiday time means giving to me. Make certain that you give of yourself to somebody else. This is Dawn. Happy holidays from the Book of Dawn.
Yo, who said devotion have to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, shall I want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please. Please don't leave me now. Please don't leave me now. Please. From glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Gethsemane, Gethsemane, the Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane, the Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane, the Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane, the Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson. Sonya, let that play beneath that. You can just let it play behind me. Hey, y'all, this is
Go ahead.
This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-hosts, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Morris, Sonya Escobar.
I never paid attention. Even though I heard what you said, now I've actually heard it and kind of heard it in the song. Now I see where you're going, yeah.
Glory to Golgotha, Golgotha to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to the grave back to glory. God's going to turn it around. That is the story of the resurrection. Speaking of the story of resurrection, Ruthie, you was. It felt like you was calling on God. You had your head down. You was praying. You got real quiet during the interview.
I'm grateful for Rep Ford for coming on to the platform. I think I'm more of a radical action type of person. So when I heard him say, let's not cut off our nose or let's not throw the bombs, I kind of tuned out because I think that's what we need in our community. Like, we need radical action.
So you didn't listen to the whole thing?
I was listening, but I just...
What did you take away?
You know what I've learned from what Ruthie just said? She ain't never been to the West Side.
I think my takeaway is that I agree with Rep Ford that we certainly do need unity. I just don't know who is the enemy and who is not the enemy, and that's kind of what messes me up sometimes because I don't really know who or what to really believe, and so that's kind of where I struggle. And I also, and I ain't gonna even lie, Rep Ford, it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Like, I'm in my feels when I heard you say that the people need to kind of guide y'all the way y'all need to go. And I always thought that we elected people to kind of look out for us. So I guess my question to you, Rep Ford, would be what do y'all need the constituents to do? Like, do y'all want us to call y'all? Do y'all want us to march out in front of y'all offices? Do y'all want us to do what Ty said and join together?
I thought that's what we was doing here every morning. Was like making people aware of the issue so that they could take some action.
Well, I think it looks more like fighting because he kind of made a reference to we can't just keep fighting against each other. So my question is, what's the difference between fighting and advocating for yourself? Y'all can't have it both ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'm going to be honest with you, it was kind of disenchanting to hear that the problem is me.
That's why I said it kind of hurt my feelings.
I've told you that for at least a year now. I have seen, when I say you, I don't mean you. Like Pogo said, I have seen the enemy, and the enemy is us. We are not treating each other right. I mean, if we were treating each other right and work together, a lot of our problems would be solved. It would be, it wouldn't be segregation. No, it would be segregation in a sense, but it would be segregation that we wanted to get what we want.
You know, so here's my thing. My thing is, so I first of all, I need y'all to hear that Rep Ford validated me and my Springfieldness. Secondly, I think, did y'all hear the story about the cannabis? And he said that these people who he didn't want to say no names, but we said it was Chicago Normal. We brought this up. White folks, I told y'all about how this works. White folks loaded them up on buses, brought them down to Springfield, and had them.
When you say them, you mean loaded black people?
Loaded black people on the buses. Put them down. Remember I told you Lobby Day works? I said you go get you a big group of black people, you load them up on buses, you give them lunches, you put them in T-shirts, and you make them scream and make a lot of noise. And because here's the real part of it. if the black legislators were in tune with their people, then they would be able to recognize their people, right? Like they just let a group of white people put a mass together, force a bill through, and then tell us that, man, y'all came down here and told, what y'all?
Like, no, but if our memory serves me, generally when people get off the bus, they are people from all over the area, and Ruthie would get off the bus
and go to their constituent.
Right. And she'd say, I know exactly who my rep is. I got a map. And I'd go and I'm going to go talk to him about this. Okay, I'm in.
But what I'm saying, and I got you, and I've organized those, and you organize it by constituency. But again, if cannabis has been this big thing, you know who the players are, right? Like again, there has to be a familiarity. Like you can't say, here's my thing. If you ain't never seen Chicago Normal, never, and we know that Chicago Normal was a created organization. I told y'all that. Remember, it was Illinois Normal. Then they said, we're going to make Chicago normal for the black people. Then the black people, that's because the white people saw it coming. They knew the social equity. So they put all these black people together, put them on a bus, and then they created the marketplace. So they picked all the people who was with it and then put them in front of used their lobbyist friends and put them in front of them. And then so the people that they said were the black representatives came down and stole our birthright, and they allowed it.
Yeah, but for one, you got to believe somebody. But they also had the I won't say the backing, but they had the representatives who were in the room come out and say, yeah, they're right.
That's my point, though. So our black representatives validated the people who came and stole our birthright.
There you get validated.
Right.
Exactly.
But the Black Caucus validated people they had never seen before to steal our birthright. Now they've absconded. We got nothing, and now it's on us that we didn't support them.
When he says absconded, they gone.
That means they bound.
I would just like to say, I think Marjorie, thank you for the comment. Marjorie said, my takeaway is we in trouble. Thank you, Marjorie. I think we in trouble, y'all.
Y'all got to do what y'all need to do. You people.
I'm going into John Stroger mode. John Stroger would never say we weren't in trouble, but he say, you know how you're going to get out this trouble?
How?
We're going to get together and organize and make something happen.
But again,
around what? Though? We've been doing that.
And here's the thing.
No,
they're saying to us,
we
remember when I told y'all as a black man, you want me to organize with cowardice? And that's where you lose people. Right? You can't have warriors ready to fight and then the people that you organizing. Like, black people are ready for some action.
But I'm saying, what are we supposed to organize around?
Making sure that they stay in power.
Yeah, what you organize around is your candidate, and then you hold your candidate.
So we need a person.
Yeah, you need a representative. A representative who's going to be in the room that you organize around, and you say, this is what we want to see happen.
That Madigan already organized that room. It was called the Black Caucus Forum.
That's
Candidate
what I'm
Forum.
saying. So really, Todd, you giving me a tangible solution, but it ain't.
Look,
it don't
let me
really
put it this
work in
way.
the current system that we in.
You and the other four radicals are not going to burn the system down. But what you need to do is you need to get your guy in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but if our guy is already in the room,
so you can't work the whole state. But you know what you can work?
What?
Your district and your ward.
So who is the black person that's in the room for us right now?
You telling me to play by rules that other people ain't following?
Mm-hmm. Man, you can't force them to do it. But
wait, why not?
You remember what May said when he wanted to do something in the frat? What'd he do?
He counted.
Mm-hmm.
When I paid some dues.
He paid some dues to get people in the room who could vote on the issue the way he wanted.
But they all had that assumes that they weren't pumping Kool-Aid.
I don't know if I can. I get what you're saying, Todd. It sounds right, like the right thing.
How do you think white people got in power?
Because I think they
supremacy. They built the damn system so y'all could say that.
No, but all white people aren't the same. They all don't like each other.
Todd, I don't think that anybody is getting. Here's what I'm gonna say. I think you're 100% right in saying that we need to organize.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying that group is difficult to motivate people to organize around. Now,
yeah,
it's and this is what I'm saying. I do not debate that we need to organize. But if you have shown me, right, that you gonna, to use my guy Herb's words, you gonna fold every time, I'm not organizing with you knowing that you're going to fold on me anyway. Let's go to the live line. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller! Caller, you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. I could have swore it was on your show. Maybe I'm mistaken. But then when Ricky Henry called your show and say that he was taking a busload of folks down there to push that bill through on the marijuana.
He was going to fight it and to get black people included. He wasn't going to push it through.
I could have swore he said he was going to take couple of bus loads down there to Springfield to push it through.
To fight it.
He was going to fight it. I remember
He was going to fight it. Go, but what's your point, caller?
Well, the point is he needs to be called out.
Caller, he didn't go, but here's what I'm saying, caller. What we're saying is Ricky Hendon was going down to fight the issue. Ricky Hendon wrote a check to the same company that the state pushed through. So I understand you want to call him out, but you calling him out for the wrong thing. He went to go fight. Now, if you want to call somebody out on that, then you need to call out Chicago Normal. Now, if you want to...
We don't know who Chicago Normal is.
Yes, we do. Stop the call.
Who was Chicago Normal?
Chicago Normal was the black group that, remember Craig came on and told us how they were the group that went down and advocated.
No, I really meant like, who is it? Who are they?
Chicago Normal is the white group, is the black offshoot of Illinois Normal that was created to drive the policy for the black social equity policy for the cannabis bill. And the caller...
And out of the three groups, they got two of them, right?
Right.
Well, they're in the lottery for two or something.
Exactly. So let me just be clear, though, to the caller, and I don't want to be... It's like, caller, he didn't go to... I think that there's a desire to slam everybody, right? And I think we got to be judicious in what we do. So if we know that Ricky was the guy fighting against the cannabis bill being passed...
Oh, Ricky called and he was complaining about them.
And he called with the two bus loads you're talking about. So you saying you want him to call out the right people.
Right.
Right? Like, if you got a Ricky problem... That's a different thing. And Ricky Hendon, correct. Ricky Hendon is not in office. Like, we got any other callers? All right, y'all. I just want to point out some other things. Thank you.
Something like, y'all need some religion behind this.
I'm going to tell you, speaking of religion, though, I got to tell y'all, I am super excited about the additions that we had this week. In case y'all did not check out Chris the Critic, that show, Chris put up some numbers, had some women upset. Asia said she had to tune out.
He said you got to dumb yourself down as a woman if you want to get a man.
No, as I say, the most important thing Chris said was there's two groups of men. Mm-hmm. There's the men who you dig, and there's the men who dig you. Fool around with the men who dig you.
Right. Pick from the...
they want to fool with you.
They will fool with you. But I think that was great advice. Shout out to, we also got a lot of great sales advice as well. Shout out to Chris the Critic. Looking forward to him again Fridays, 8 to 9, right before Go Ladies. And then I got to tell y'all, I was super impressed yesterday with Church Chicago's Power Hour. Y'all know I'm a preacher's kid. Mm-hmm. So I was back in the booth catching church. They was, all you gotta do is put on some good gospel music and sing. And boy, but I'm gonna tell you, be on the lookout for that. They'll be on next week at 9, from 9 to 10. And then don't forget to kick back.
Maze was singing and dancing and speaking in tongues.
I was praised. I wasn't speaking in tongues. That's the devil. But anyway,
so it's lighting candles.
So lighting candles.
Speaking of the candle lady over there, she got like 100 candles.
We got have you seen She's Gotta Have It?
Yes. The new one or the old one?
The old one. Mm-hmm. The candles. Every time I think of candles, I just think of that movie and the candles. Ruthie, we gonna keep an eye on you. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. So for Miss Sonia Escobar, for my co-host Taj Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said. Now coming up, Dawn is gonna be out. The Book of Dawn's going to be out, but stay tuned. It'll be all right. We're going to make it happen. We'll be back in just a few minutes. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll check you out tomorrow. Peace.